Hey there and welcome. Today we're digging into something that's, well, it's pretty much the bedrock of all success, self-confidence. It's that inner power that lets you take risks, build better relationships, and just perform at your absolute best. So let's break down how you can actually build it, starting right now.
All right, let's kick things off with a really big question. And I want you to actually pause for a second and think about this. What's the one amazing, incredible thing you would go after if you knew with 100% certainty that you could not fail? Just thinking about that, wow, it completely changes the game, doesn't it? It shows you what's on the other side of fear and self-doubt.
You know, after studying thousands, literally thousands of successful people, the author Brian Tracy found one thing that tied them all together, and it's this: self-confidence. It's the one quality they all had in spades. Every single person who did something amazing had way more self-confidence than the average person.
Okay, so here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to build this thing from the ground up. First, we'll look at why it's the foundation of everything. Then, we'll see how confidence is actually an effect you can create. After that, it's all about building your action engine, developing a resilient shield for when things get tough, and finally, putting it all together to become absolutely unstoppable. All right, first up, the foundation. And honestly, it all starts right here. Just imagine for a second, if you had total unshakable self-confidence, how would your life be different? I mean, really think about it. You'd set bigger goals. You'd be bolder. You'd be more creative. You'd be the one asking for that promotion, starting that business, or just finally telling people no. You'd feel like you're in the driver's seat of your own life, like the master of your destiny.
So the big question is, how do we get there? Well, it all starts with a huge shift in how you think about confidence. See, most of us believe it's something you're either born with or you're not, like it's just dumb luck. But that's not true at all. Confidence is an effect. It's a result. And the best part? If it's a result, that means there's a cause, and we can learn to trigger that cause over and over again.
And this brings us to a really powerful idea, sometimes called the iron law of human destiny, the law of cause and effect. It's super simple, really. It just means that everything happens for a reason. Success isn't an accident, and neither is failure. So, if you want the effect, that feeling of high self-confidence, you just have to do the things that cause it. You do what other confident people do, and guess what? You'll start getting the same results.
Now here's where it gets even more interesting. There's an idea that builds on this, called the law of belief. It basically says that whatever you believe with real conviction becomes your reality. It's not just that you believe what you see. A lot of the time you end up seeing what you already believe. And I've got an incredible story that just perfectly nails this point.
So, imagine this. There's a businessman, and he's at the absolute end of his rope. His business is about to go under, the bills are piling up, he's totally lost hope. He ends up just sitting on a park bench, trying to figure out what to do next, feeling like it's all over.
And as he's sitting there, this older gentleman walks up, listens to his troubles, and then does something you would never expect. He takes out a checkbook, writes out a check for $500,000, and hands it to him. And the check is signed by none other than John D. Rockefeller, who was, at the time, the richest man in the world. Okay, but here is the craziest part of the story. The businessman takes the check, goes home, and sticks it in his safe. He never even cashes it. Just knowing it was there, that was enough. It gave him this surge of confidence to go back into his business, make better deals, and completely turn things around. A year later, he goes back to the park to pay the man back, and he sees him again, but this time, a nurse is leading him away. The nurse explains that the man had escaped from a nearby asylum, and he always pretended to be John D. Rockefeller. The check? It was a fake. It was never about the money at all. It was the belief, the newfound confidence that actually saved his business. And that story just perfectly shows the difference between positive thinking and what we could call positive knowing. See, positive thinking is kind of like wishing or hoping for the best. It's fragile. But positive knowing, that's a deep, unshakable conviction that you've got this. It's built on action and experience. It's the feeling that businessman had when he walked out of that park. The feeling that you're unstoppable. Okay, so let's get practical. Let's move from the what to the how. How do you actually build that positive knowing for yourself? Well, you do it by building what we'll call your action engine, a set of daily habits that create real, tangible confidence. Because at the end of the day, competence is where true, lasting confidence comes from.
And here is one of the most powerful yet simple techniques you can start using tomorrow morning. Get yourself a spiral notebook, first thing every day. Before you do anything else, write down your main goals. But here's the key, and this is super important, you have to write them in the present tense, as if they're already true. Not I will earn, but I earn. Not I will achieve, but I achieve. Doing this every single day literally programs your subconscious mind to go to work on making those goals a reality. And you can put this whole process on steroids by committing to lifelong learning with 3 really simple rules. Rule 1, invest 3% of your income back into yourself. Buy the book, take the course. Rule 2, read for 1 hour every single day in your field, no excuses. And rule 3, turn your car into a learning machine. Use your commute time to listen to audio programs or podcasts. Make your car university on wheels. These habits seem small, but they compound like crazy over time, building that undeniable competence we're talking about.
So, building confidence is one thing, but what about keeping it? Life is going to throw curveballs at you, right? So how do you protect that confidence when you hit a setback? You need to develop a resilience shield, a way to keep your mindset strong when the going gets tough. Napoleon Hill put it perfectly. He said, "Persistence is to the character of man as carbon is to steel." I mean, just think about that. Persistence isn't just about trying hard. It's the ultimate test of how much you believe in yourself. Every time you push through adversity, you're not just getting closer to your goal, you are literally forging your character, making it stronger, tougher, and more resilient. And you know, a huge piece of that resilience actually starts with your physical body. Your mental fitness is directly tied to your physical fitness. Having high levels of energy is so important. It affects your mental clarity, your mood, your self-esteem, everything. When you feel physically strong and healthy, you just feel more ready to take on whatever the world throws at you.
And here's a really simple way to get a quick energy boost. Cut out what some people call the 3 white poisons. First, sugar. You know how it is. You get a quick high and then a massive crash. Second, salt, which can lead to fatigue. And third, white flour. It's basically empty calories with no real nutrition. Seriously, just reducing these can make a huge difference in how you feel, almost immediately.
But maybe the deepest, most powerful source of confidence comes from something else entirely: living a life of total integrity. When you live in a way that's true to your highest values, when your actions match your beliefs, you build this incredible trust in yourself. Every time you choose to do the right thing, especially when it's the hard thing, you're forging a character and a positive self-image that absolutely no one can ever take away from you.
Okay, so let's tie all of this together. We've talked about the right mindset, we've talked about taking action, and we've talked about being resilient. Now, let's pull all these pieces into one final framework that's going to help you become truly unstoppable.
And that framework is called the 4 Ds. First up is desire. You have to want it, and I mean really want it. Second is decision. You have to make 100% no turning back commitment. Third, determination. You got to have the grit to keep going when you get knocked down. And finally, and this is arguably the most important one, discipline. This is the ability to make yourself do what you need to do when you need to do it, whether you feel like it or not. That, right there, is the master key to success in anything.
And as you go forward with this, I want you to remember one incredible fact. The statistical odds of someone else existing on this planet with your unique mix of talents, abilities, and life experiences, it's more than 50 billion to 1. Think about that. You are, by definition, a miracle. You're extraordinary. Your job is just to figure out what makes you unique and then build your entire life around that.
So we're going to end right where we started with that same question. What one great thing would you dare to dream if you knew with absolute certainty you could not fail? But here's the difference. The first time I asked, it was just a dream. Now, you have the blueprint. You know the causes. The effect is just waiting for you. Now you know how.